So there's a bunch of different things that are going on here.
First of all, and my question is regarding Argentina. Does continue?
Are you from Argentina?
I'm from Argentina. Yes.
I like the Argentina. I like them much better than ABC. than ABC fake news.
Me too, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Does continued U.S. support for Argentina depend
The entire
on the
country. Don't even know if it's like a hostile reporter from Argentina or not. He's like, I like Argentina. It's better than ABC fake news. Argentina is the best country. I just gave you 20 billion. I just gave you 20 billion. Fake news. He's going to say no aid for Argentina if a communist wins and Milei loses. Wait,
the
really?
upcoming legislative elections and the ability of the government to pass long-lasting reforms through Congress?
Well, I think if they don't do that, we're not going to be around very long. Scott, can you handle that one, please?
We're confident that the president's party will and the coalition will do well in the election, and this aid.
That's so incredible, dude. That is just like, this is transparent intervention in the electoral process of another country, and it's just another fucking Tuesday morning in this administration. Back in the day, these kinds of things used to be hush hush. Now they just openly say it on television. Okay? We gave him 20 billion. If the opposition wins, we gave him 20 billion. If the opposition wins, we'll take it away. That is crazy. That's just in broad fucking daylight. Like these things used to matter. Okay? Like think about the Iran-Contra affair, right? When it was when the Iran-Contra affair was like unearthed, this became a major point of contention at the time. And I feel like it's just a Monday for this administration. They just do it out loud. They just openly do it. They're gangsters. They're doing gangster capitalism in broad daylight. Doesn't even fucking matter. What are you going to do about it? It blows my fucking mind, dude. And it doesn't matter. People genuinely don't care. Trump says U.S. could cut aid for Buenos Aires if Argentina moves leftward in this month's legislative election. This is the headline from Associated Press. And yet people seemingly don't give a fuck. I don't know how the Argentinian population will react to this. I think that they will probably not be as appreciative of Donald Trump's direct intervention, especially at a time when Milei has lost a lot of the initial support that he had, because, you know, once he implemented his policies, people realize maybe they don't like it so much. Okay, so I do feel like this could potentially have the same like Mark Carney style impact that it had in Canada, where it will negatively polarize people that associate openly with the American administration. But then again, I don't know enough about like the Argentine feelings, the Argentinian population. So I'm only speculating here. But I do know that from what I understand, they don't actually like Milei all that much. And I don't know. I would go so far as to say that, like, obviously, in all circumstances, when your economy is on fire, regardless of who is manning that ship, as long as that ship is fucking sinking, people are going to not like the leadership. They're going to say, fuck the leaders. They are responsible for the economic turmoil. Even Donald Trump is experiencing a bit of this, right? So I suspect that this kind of direct intervention that violates the sovereignty of the Argentinian population will probably not be helpful for Milei's chances of maintaining power.
Is predicated on robust policies, and going back to the failed Peronist policies would cause a U.S. rethink.
Thank you very much.
It's a great question. It's a little like New York. You know, you're reading in Argentina.
Oh, my fucking Lord. It's a little bit like New York. We're going to deny aid to New York if the socialists win. We're going to make sure we cripple New York, the finance capital of the country. Good luck.
Argentina about New York. We have a problem. We have a communist who's 33 years old, doesn't know a damn thing. Practically, he's never worked a day in his life. And he sort of caught on, right? And I'm not going to send a lot of money to New York. I don't have to. You know, the money comes all through the White House. And if they're going to be sending us stupid policies, I mean, communist policies, which is proven for thousands of years doesn't work. You know, we don't have to prove it again. We're not going to ruin one of our great cities, because we'll make that great. We will clean up the crime in about 30 days. Took 12 days to do Washington, D.C., so New York is bigger. And Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government, but Chicago's doing great. Memphis is doing really great. You know, we have great support there from the political leaders. They said, please come in and clean up crime. And we love it. We've in 1 week, Memphis is so good. It's so much better. We'll have it within a month. We'll have that into a safe city again. And all of these cities, we want to clean them up. We don't like that opposition. But if somebody's going to be a communist mayor of New York, it's a fluke if he gets in. There are a lot of failed people that he's running against. I mean, you have inferior candidates or something, because it's impossible to think that New York City can have a communist mayor. He's a communist. He's not a socialist, by the way. There's a big difference. He's a communist. He's down and dirty. He's a communist. He hates police. He wants to get rid of all police. I mean, how can a policeman? He hates Jewish people, and yet he's got Jewish people supporting. He hates Jewish people.
This part is so funny because this is just like when Trump said, you know, a lot of your children to Jewish donors at like a Jewish summit. Remember when Donald Trump turned around and was like, you know, a lot of your kids are protesting against Israel too. This is like that, where he's just, once again, you're supposed to not say the quiet part out loud. You're not supposed to say a lot of Jewish people are still voting for him, even though he hates Jews. Like, you're supposed to say he hates Jews and Jews are terrified, right? But he still turns around and says, you know, a lot of Jews are supporting this guy. Can you believe it? It's fucking awesome. I don't know why he does this. I don't know why he is just like incapable of finding the appropriate talking points. I guess I would hate him more if he did do that. Because, you know, a competent liberal leadership that wants to disparage Zoran Mamdani would say the other thing. He'd be like, he hates Jews and Jews don't support him and they're terrified. They want to leave New York or something. Like, they would just lie, right? Yeah, and also communism has failed for thousands of years. Donald Trump is a primitive accumulation understander. For those of you who don't actually comprehend the way his mind works, he actually read Das Kapital. He knows that Marx's analysis of primitive accumulation was like primitive communism, right? And that's what he means. He's like, it's a failure. You need barter. You need barter. Folks, it's a failure. It was a failure. Enclosures were good. Class struggle is eternal. Enclosures were good, but I'm actually on the side of the capital owning class. That's what he means when he says it was a failure for thousands of years, okay? He's like, think about it. Think about it. People used to go out and all the land was public. What good did that do? Nothing. Nothing at all. We need barter. Yeah, the other side of the story that I find very humorous is just on my own, at least, is like whenever he makes a distinction between communism and socialism, and he'd be like, he's a communist. He's not even a socialist. Socialists are fine, folks. It's the communists that are scary. Yeah, they like the one time you got a dude who's like, I want to do modest social democratic reforms, and I don't mind calling myself a democratic socialist. All of a sudden, these guys are like, Nancy Pelosi was so fine. She's actually invested in the continuation of capitalism. It turns out it was actually good. The liberals were fine, folks. These guys are so much scarier than the liberals. They're communists. They're not even socialists. They're radical communists. Yeah. All of a sudden, when someone even, when a popular figure calls themselves openly a socialist, then they have to like start changing the way that they attack this stuff a little bit more, because people go, wait a minute, now you think Nancy Pelosi is not a radical communist? Because you used to say that all the time. I thought Kamala Harris was a communist and a fascist and a socialist, and now you're saying Zoran is a socialist, communist, fascist, but the rest of the Democrats are not somehow? I'm confused.
So it comes through the White House. The funding for New York and for every place comes through the White House. And I'm very generous, and I was always very generous with New York, even when you had opposition there, but I was always very generous. But I wouldn't be generous to a communist, a guy that's going to take the money and throw it out the window, because you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah. I wouldn't be generous to a communist who would take the money and throw it out the window, as opposed to Javier Milei, which I gave $20 billion to after the IMF also did another bailout. That guy is not throwing the money away. Whereas, you know what's throwing the money away? Using the pre-existing funding mechanisms to beef up American infrastructure in one of the most robust public transit cities, if not the most robust public transit city in the fucking country. How dare he? How dare he throw the money away by giving it to the fucking working poor, or giving it to every person that lives in New York by investing back into public transit? This is wasting the money away. You're supposed to take the money and throw rock concerts for yourself, like my goat Javier Milei.
And we're not going to let somebody get into office and squander the taxpayer money from this country. We're not going to let it happen. So it's a little bit like that with, if you take a look at Argentina, if the president doesn't win, I know the person that he'd be running against, I believe, probably, we probably have the person. A person is extremely far left and a philosophy that got Argentina into this problem in the first place. So we would not.
Okay, but you're the one who's bailing out the anarcho-capitalist over and over again, and he's not a socialist. So what the fuck are you talking about? None of this makes sense if you hold it up to like a little bit of scrutiny, right? He's like, oh, this is the same principle behind like people always being like, socialism is when one guy has all the money and everyone else is poor, as opposed to capitalism where some people have the money, some people don't have the money. And it's like everyone goes, okay, but the graph you're showing about socialism resembles what we're experiencing currently. Are you saying that we're living under socialism right now? Is that what you're claiming? It doesn't make sense. It literally does not make sense. He's like, that's right. Milei is very good, which is why he needs more and more billions. Okay, he's doing capitalism the right way, which is why we will support him, even though he lights the money on fire. Okay, it doesn't make sense because Milei isn't even running for re-election right now. It's a midterm. There is no guy. I know, but he's talking about like the Peronis taking back control over the parliament. I assume that's what he's implying here. That's what he's talking about, which will create. I mean, it's already, from what I understand, it's already created some setbacks for Milei's austerity agenda, because people very quickly responded with, "We are poorer than ever before." Anyway, from Glenn, I know. Trump. Oh, the irony of Trump's strong insinuation today about Miriam Adelson that she loves Israel more than the U.S. is a statement that is prohibited and subject to punishment as anti-Semitism under the expanded IHRA hate speech rules Trump forced American universities to adopt. Yeah, of course. But as is the case, well, first of all, it's not even false. Like, let's be real. I do think that Miriam Adelson cares more about Israel. Like, I think she cares mostly about money, right? Like, that her number one priority is money. But as far as like the spiritual stuff goes, as far as like the idealism goes, like, yes, I think that she does care quite a bit about fucking Israel, which is precisely the reason why she gave $250 million to Donald Trump, so that Donald Trump would continue demonstrating unlimited fealty to Israel.